What is going on, everybody? This is yet another spontaneous live. Telling you guys, the name random is it's not for show. I got home and I just thought I was like, you know what? It's been a minute since I went live. Let me go ahead and just go live without no notice, no nothing. And boom, here I am live. So I'm waiting for a few more people to come in before we really get this party started on the live. But as you guys are coming in, make sure you smash the like button, hit that like button, as well as share this wherever you guys are looking at it at. Victor, what's going on? Roar Bone. Like right now, I think we have the probably the easiest time to being able to make like a 10x, like a 10x in the market. You could easily do that roughly in the next 6 months or so or less. Because when I'm telling you, like everything is on discount, like deep discount. And even from an entry standpoint of where you could actually buy in on some of these assets, like I haven't seen anything like this from the time I've been in crypto, just to see like how much these assets are down by, and also how big of an opportunity that is currently presenting itself. And the way that I always look at it, it's where, was this asset or was this token or whatever, was it really popping off during the hype when people were just like, yeah, meme this, meme that, I need to get into this, and what is it currently doing right now? Those are the two questions that I always ask myself. So we're gonna be looking at different charts. So as always, you guys already know, Roaring Kitty, like right over here, like the entry point for Roaring Kitty is at a support. Like this right here is considered a huge support area. Notice when it dropped, it came to that same area. Got another drop right here, and it came back to that same area. So currently right now we're seeing a mini little consolidation. And I think once we break past this little trend line right here, we should be able to start trending back up to the penny mark. And once we pass the penny mark, we're going to be testing all-time highs. And once we finish testing all-time highs, this is when the fun is really going to start for Roaring Kitty. Then it's going to be over a $15 million market cap. It's going to be trading to the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50, $60 million market cap. And around that time, this is when we might be able to see like just the crazy FOMO. And if this is timed right, as far as like with the market, with Bitcoin surpassing its all-time highs and all this good stuff happening, then it will be one of those instances where it just keep going up and up and up and up and up and up, before it eventually will have a pullback. Like every asset, will not just continue to just go straight up. If it goes straight like just straight up without any type of consolidation, I tend to get worried. Same thing with Giga. There was this like big whale that was just constantly just shilling Giga. They were like, Giga has not, in the past, I think it was like 11 months, it has not had a red month. And they were like, this is ultra bullish. I mean, I made a X post about it. I was like, that is not ultra bullish. Like, if an asset is going up 11 months straight, like, you need relief, you need pullbacks. A reason why you need pullbacks on any asset that you're in. And I get it. People just want to see, I buy today, then boom, I'm a millionaire tomorrow. Like, that's everybody's fantasy. Um, rarely, you know, rarely does it happen like that. In order for you to see these huge amount of gains, you're gonna have to suffer through pullbacks. You're gonna have to suffer through pullbacks. It's gonna go up. It's gonna come down. It's gonna go up. It's gonna sideways consolidate, break support, eventually regain back support, and boom off to the races. Then having another pullback. That is any chart. You could look. This is the pattern for over 100 years. A lot of people don't understand that this is chart patterns. They fail to realize that if their asset is not performing right away from when they purchase it, or even after a year, or even after 2 years, not even understanding just different market cycles, they get tapped out, they get burnt out, and after they get burnt out, um, yeah, they tend to try to leave that asset alone. Let me take this what you call so that way you guys could see. I didn't realize you guys weren't able to see the full chart, so let me take that away. Okay. Or matter of fact, let me see if I could just bring it down some, just a little bit. All right, yeah. So what I was saying, yeah, when it comes to just the overall market, it's gonna have ups, it's gonna have downs, it's gonna have days that weeks, months that is just straight down. But if you understand the game or these patterns that we have before us in crypto, like you could really capitalize on this crypto market. Like there's another asset that I invest into, and I'm not gonna say it due to the fact that it's already up. Like I put 300, and that's the other thing too, that a lot of people think that you need huge size. You need huge size in order for you to make money in crypto. Crypto is one of the few assets that you don't have to leverage in order for you to be able to make a huge amount of gain. Another asset, I put $300 into it, and I want to say like I'm up like 15,000 dollars off of it. Um, and again, it's all about pattern recognition. Like to me now, making a 10x is stupidly easy. Making 100x, it's getting a little easier. Making 1,000x, that's where it's a little hard, because you do have to hold for multiple months or even to possibly a year just to be able to make a 1,000x. Now, some people may be like, oh, I'm not holding that long because I'm in fear of round tripping my bag. Um, but the thing is, when it comes to quote unquote round tripping your bag, is all it is pullback. Like if you bought here, and I'm just using Giga as an example. If you bought Giga right here, and it went from $100 million market cap all the way to close to $1 billion market cap, if your goal on Giga was more than a 10x, if it comes back down to the same entry, it is just nothing but regular pattern as far as in crypto. it's gonna come back to support eventually. It's not gonna keep going up eventually, indefinitely. So that's why, like, when people just say round trip, like, they don't really understand what, it all depends on your goal. But the thing is, most people don't have an exit strategy or exit plan. If they're buying Giga right here, they're just holding in no exit plan. Like, you gotta have an exit plan. Like, is this gonna be a 5x for you? Is this gonna be a 10x? Is it gonna be 100x? Like, most of the plays that I'm getting into right now, they're more than a 10x. Now I'm just showing you guys like how you can easily, and I'm gonna get to that. Um, but I'm gonna show you guys just the easy way just to being able to just do a 10x, just at the minimum 10x on a few different assets, and you could look and you could find different assets like this. And first thing that you want to do, you want to find the asset that was popping, the asset that everybody was talking about. We're saying that this is gonna be the next, Apple, you know, and a lot of them was the one that Murad was shilling, like Giga. So Giga, if you look at it, where it's currently at, market cap is at $186 million market cap, right? All time highs is close to about 1 billion. So the way that I look at it is, if this has a rebound and goes back to all time highs, how many X's can I make? Currently, right now with Giga, it would be roughly about like a 8x ish. Um, because all time high is close to 1 billion. Current market cap is 186. Then the other question I'm gonna ask is, okay, where am I buying it at? Am I buying it close to a support area or at a support area? And if the answer is yes, I am buying this asset at a support area, then it's like, this would be a good shot. Now, this is not 100%, foolproof. Like, I'm gonna get in. Like, you gotta realize, when it comes to investment, you're taking educated risk. You know, there's a chance that it may not work, but the odds, you want to get high odds plays, like stuff that's gonna work in your favor. Like, having a 40 or 50% chance or 60% chance of something working, then that means I could confidently put my money in this asset, in other ones that's like similar to it. So if it's a 50% chance, so meaning if I'm going to invest 10 times on 10 different assets, then 5 of them is going to work, the other 5 is not going to work. But I'm already going into it with the game plan in mind. And this is where you have to also learn how to manage your size. Many people want to put $10,000, $20,000 into an asset. To me, that's too much size. That's too much size as far as like for risk. That I'm willing to risk 20,000, $30,000 on one single asset, when I could just, in the turnaround for most people, if they're putting 20,000, 30,000 into it, they're just trying to make a 5x out of it. Like, why not just you know invest 5,000 into it or 2,000 into it on these lower market cap plays? So for Giga, looking at it, boom, it is next to a support area. So because it's next to a support area, in my mind, I know that if Bitcoin continue to keep going down, and Friday, it may be a sell the rumor type of thing. Not sure, because I see people are getting hyped about it. When people are getting, and this is another thing too, like, if people are overly, um, a lot of people is swaying to one side of the equation, then that gets me a little worried. So Friday, you're seeing Bitcoin starting to have a nice pump now because people are excited about the summit. Yes, the summit would be a great thing, especially if they announce zero taxes. But at the end of the day, people are buying maybe in anticipation of that news. So the price of Bitcoin, especially if it continue to keep pumping, heading towards Friday, that might be priced in already. So when Friday come after whatever it gets announced, you might see a dump. So this is where you also have to be cautious. That's because if Bitcoin starting to dump, it's Giga is gonna also continue to keep dumping as well too. So this is why I say, like, if I'm looking at it, yes, this is close to a support, but there's also other support areas right here. You have another support somewhere right here, and you have another one in the 80 around like $80 million market cap. Like, all of these are still support areas that Giga could still potentially go down. So if I'm getting into it, I'm also putting that in mind. And this is why, like, again, when it comes to crypto, it is extremely volatile. So if an asset is extremely volatile, why are you adding so much capital into it? You know, like, so much capital into that's just asking for your, because you're not going to be able to time. Most people are not going to be able to time the market perfectly, because you could be right on dead center, and next thing you know, Trump announced, up, tariff war, boom, Bitcoin slides down, and instantly you're down 50%. Like, these are the type of stuff that you gotta price out in your mind. So for Giga, $300 at most. $300 at this level. Now, if I'm a little risky, or want to play it a little bit more, I could do $300 with the hopes of adding another $300 if it gets to this line right here. Because even if it gets down right here, now I'm gonna be investing $600, but now we're looking at a 10x. $600 turn $600 to $6,000. Not a bad trade. If you want to hold on even more, because again, with the breakout theory, so if this breaks past this, it should do at least a 2x. So now, instead of just having a 10x after this breaks out, we're looking more like a 20x. And this is the type of stuff that just goes on in my head, and this is how I play the market. Like, I'm playing it at my pace, at my rules. Same thing. You can look at Popcat. This was another one that was popping. No pun intended. So all time highs for it, 2 billion. Currently at a $224 million market cap. Look where it's currently trading at, guys. Near a support area. And again, Popcat still has room to still being able to go down, because it could technically get down to right around like a $91 million market cap. And again, like I mentioned, if we do see a buy the rumor, sell the news event on Friday on Bitcoin, yes, this is going to get down to probably in the hundreds, because Bitcoin is going to drag everything down. Same thing for WIF. 4.9 or 5, close to a $5 billion market cap at an all-time high. All right. Currently, right now, it's at a $574 million market cap. Now, granted, a lot of these Solana plays, they're just getting straight up destroyed. Because I remember this one guy who was subscribed to the channel. He was pissed off because I wouldn't talk about WIF on the channel. I still remember to the day. That was like the funniest thing ever. Um, and this was the time. This was, I want to say, it was like right around here. Yeah, because this is when I first started talking about Roaring Kitty. It was like right around here. he'll like, oh my God, Random Marks, I can't believe you're not even talking about whiff. I've been shilling whiff to you this whole time, blah blah blah, and you just out of nowhere started shilling this other this other token. Talk about Roy Kitty. I'm like, bro, like, why would I want to talk about whiff? Like, especially a $3 billion market cap play. Like that is way too hot. Like again, if I'm talking about it, what's the hope of me? And I don't think people realize this. Like, in order for me to make a 10x on Whiff at the time where he wanted me to talk about Whiff, Whiff would have had to do a you know, Whiff would have had to get to $30 billion market cap. The likelihood, like again, when it comes to investing, it's all about and you're making the analysis, you're making the assumption, like what is the likelihood, what is the stats. I mean, for me, I've seen so many different plays. If I'm looking at whiff, when I was looking at whiff around this, I'm like, the likelihood of me making a 10x on it is extremely slim to none at that time. Not saying that it can't get to $30 billion market cap, but at the time, after it had this run up and it started having this little consolidation, I'm like, nah. I mean, yeah, imagine now people start buying that at $3 billion market cap. Now it's currently at a $578 million market cap. Like, it doesn't make sense. And the same thing now that I'm seeing with other influencers, they're getting away from the meme scene. They're like, yeah, I'm tired of the meme. We're gonna, I'm gonna start talking about like higher market cap plays. But the same thing applies with higher market cap plays is Bitcoin. If Bitcoin starts to come down, these higher market cap plays that you are shilling to your subscribers, they're gonna lose bad, because one thing about higher market cap plays, you do have to put in a higher amount of capital. So some people would slap, in order for them to make decent amount of money on these higher market cap plays, they're going in at hundreds of thousands of dollars buying up these tokens, but just to see these higher market cap plays have the same type of volatility. Something at a $4 or $5 billion market cap all of a sudden drop down to $579 million market cap. That's a huge loss, especially if you drop 30, 40, $50,000 into this play. So what I'm teaching is the opposite. Less size. You don't need size. You know, you do not. I know that's what she says, right? Uh, you don't need size in order for you to being able to make a nice return. Like turning three, four, $500 into six, seven, eight, nine, $10,000. That is still a good return. And you just repeat that process a few times with less risk, and now you're going to be able to get to $100,000. But the key is though is Bitcoin. Now, in order for you to start making like 100x, 1,000x, it has to align majority of the time. I'm talking about being something that's predictable, not just an outlier. Because there's some outliers that's in the market that a lot of people think that, man, I'm looking for that next outlier. It's very, 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 very hard to find these black swans, these tokens that just take off, and in one day you're up, 100,000. Like you put a few $100 in, and next thing you know, you're up $1 million. Like, it's very, very hard to find tokens like that. Not saying that they're not out there, but it is very, very hard. So I rather go with the more predictable plays that I know is going to bounce. Like again, Mog, like the history of Mog, and I'm sure, and also the other thing too, that these tokens, the ones that I'm just showing you, they all have a history of what happened after they dip. If you look at Mog, right? Let me scroll this down so that way you guys can do. So Mog, and look at this big parabolic move followed by a huge retracement. followed by parabolic move, retracement, parabolic move, retracement, parabolic move, retracement. So if I'm a betting man, if I'm gonna, play the odds are saying more likely Mog is going to have another rebound. And if I'm buying it close to a support area, then I am actually buying it at a good spot. All time high for Mog, $1.57 billion market cap. So this is not quite yet a 10x, but it's pretty close. All right, let me get into some comments because I so you wouldn't put 20,000 into an asset. How much bone is too much at these price? No, I wouldn't. My holding on bone, I want to say bone is actually the biggest. It's the biggest investment that I did on any asset this cycle. Crazy as that sound, and I think I'm up to like maybe $7,000 on bone. Yeah, like 7,000, and I have close to 20. I have close to 20,000 bone because putting that much. Two things happen now. If you are able to get in and you have the stomach just to be able to withstand the volatility, that's one thing. But many people do not have the stomach to withstand volatility, especially if you're putting in that big of a capital, 20, 40, 50, $100,000 into to an asset, you know, at 50 cents. Like the people who bought bone at 50 cents, right? 50, 60 cents, put 100, $200,000 into it. All of a sudden now their asset is cut in half. Like seeing that type of red, like a lot of people don't have the experience just to be able uh to handle that much drawdown. And when you don't have that experience, it's gonna cause you to essentially just end up making a bad move. Whether you're gonna, if it starts breaking down even more, let's say bone starts to creep down to like 15 cents. Automatically, if you put that much capital, you're seeing how much is on your screen. Majority of the people that is invested into it, they're gonna sell at the dead bottom, at the very very bottom, because they can't withstand that drawdown. They're thinking in their mind, "Oh my God, I put $100,000 into this. Now this thing is currently at, let's just say, $10,000, and because now it's at $10,000, I do not want to lose this last $10,000. I need to find something else to try to make back this money." And they'll sell at the dead bottom, and just to be able to see the asset have a reversal without them. Like if I put 300, 400, $500 into an asset, I could, I put it there, but I'm not as emotionally attached to it. Like I'm telling you, like you will be surprised. Like just over past like 2 years, there's assets that I put like 50, 60, $80. Remember the I don't know if you was here when I talked about the BRC20 tokens. There's a few of them I just slapped 50, 20, $100, and those did a nice 10x. I even had one that did a 30x, 90x. And it was just based upon just small amount. But as soon as I allowed the trade to happen, and that's the thing that many people will not be able to do because they're overly sized on an asset, and because they're overly sized on the asset, they won't let the trade work for it, like work out. I made a mistake last bull run. I had 500,000 Doge and sold right before the pump. I was losing my mind. I've learned to control my emotions because of it. It's now I know. holding 140K bone, and I'll let it run down to the floor. Yeah, man, like it's tough. And this is one thing that I had to learn in the stock market. And that's how I was able to control it. Because one thing about it, when I was day trading in the stock market, I used to day trade with about 50,000. When I tried to go up the next level, because I know traders in the stock market still to this day, they could slap on $1 million positions and they'll have their drawdowns to, like 300,000 400,000 dollars, and they could stomach that with ease. Like I was struggling just in the stock market, struggling with 3K, 4K, 5K drawdowns. So you definitely would have to know yourself. So that's why, like for me, $400, $500, $600, I'll slap it on an asset, um, and just walk away. And all of a sudden, I'll get a notification like, "Oh, this asset is up X amount." Like, oh, okay. So how much bone are y'all holding? Um, I'm close to 20K bone. I'm trying to get the 30 due to the fact that the price is. Because my goal was to just for bone, dollar wise, was to be under or at 10,000. So like I'm well under it. So I still have room to be able to add more to it. And at the current price right now, it's definitely doable. All right. Here's another one. SPX 6900. Like when people were just like, "Oh my god, this is going to go to a bajillion quadrillion dollars." Like, nope, just waiting for a pullback. I know Murad, he's still going to be around, still going to be pushing this. So 455. So it's not quite yet at a 10x. So for this, I'll probably would wait even more. I mean, even though some people say like, yeah, 455 $1 million market cap, that's pretty good versus where it's at. I would love to see this get down even further in order for me to touch it. This one, excellent risk reward. Mudang, all time highs. It was around a $700 million market cap, $46 million market cap, and this is what was one of uh, the craziest memes that went crazy. Went parabolic. Chill guy, that's another one. Chill guy. I want to say that one is at. Oh, this one's on Ethereum, not the Ethereum one. Just a chill. And the reason now with Chill Guy, Mudang, there is an exception because usually when it comes to these meme tokens, if they're not at least a year old, I wouldn't touch them because it doesn't, token that's not at least a year old, it doesn't have the history that I would look for because majority of my trades is based upon past data. So if a token is not at least a year old, then I don't have that past data. So the exception to that rule that I make for them is due to the fact that Mudang is listed on Coinbase already. So since it's being listed on Coinbase, as new holders come in and start getting into Coinbase, They'll get Chill Guy. Well, I don't think Chill Guy's on there, but Mudang is. They'll get Mudang. I can't find the one on Solana. Where that at? I want to say the one on Solana. It was somewhere I think around like a $30 million market cap. And main reason why that collapsed so much was due to the fact that the guy who created, who well, really copied Chill Guy from another author, he had tried to sue Binance. Well, after they found out that he stole the what you call him, his lawsuit really ain't got no merit. So I think eventually Chill Guy would have a nice bounce. And plus, again, it is listed on some major exchanges like Binance. It's not listed on Coinbase, which it has that potential, but it's the one on Solana, but can't find it, so I ain't gonna stress it. I know you see Captain BNB. I do see Captain BNB, but for me, Captain BNB, not enough history. Not enough history. Not to say it can't do anything. Let me get it pulled up. There it is, Captain BNB. It's at a $6.54 million market cap. It's, for me, it's too new. I mean, you could argue as far as like taking a risk, slap $400 into the 6.5, 54 million dollar market cap play. I do see the community. They're current, they're always on X. Um, the thing is, this was created February 10th. Can the community storm consolidation? Once Binance, Robinhood, Coinbase, and liquidity pool happen, Bone will go bananas. Man, Bone is going to go bananas. Right. No, I definitely do see that. Their Captain BNB's community, very strong. Yeah, but for me, it would be an A avoid. It's too new. Can Bone clearly hit $100 with the ecosystem? Yeah, I think so. Remember, like my $100 prediction for Bone was always centered around liquidity, the liquidity pool, different projects coming onto Shibarium, building on Shibarium. Um, I mean, this is how we see buying Solana hit over 100. All these pump fund tokens created from liquidity with Sol. And I think and this is why like I'm so adamant about us minting out Roaring Kitty's NFT, because the reason why we could get our price higher based upon straight community effort is that we're adding liquidity, not the fact that just Bone is just gonna go up. Like in order for us to I wouldn't even say artificially because it's at the end of the day, it's liquidity that we're adding. We have to buy this token on the open market. Like when you look at Bone getting to $100, other projects have to buy Bone on the open market. And once they buy that Bone on the open market, they're moving that fund into a pool. So they already caused the first action of buying it, causing the price to go up. And imagine like a whole bunch of different buy orders. They're just constantly just doing the same thing. Just buy, 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 buy. And that same fund is getting taken away from the circulating supply, but the price of it is higher. The price of the asset is higher. So that's essentially what we're doing with the NFTs. It's in order for us to add more liquidity, we have to come in the open market and buy up Roar, causing the price of Roar to go higher. Now that Roar that we just got from the liquidity pool is getting added to Shibarium, which is a separate liquidity pool, and that is making that one, because if you look at the dollar amount, it's $194,000 as far as worth of liquidity currently right now on Ethereum. On Shibarium, I want to say it's like 59. So it's slowly we're slowly seeing that pickup. But now think of it in a massive scale. We get the NFTs minted out. That's over $100,000. Probably not at this current price, but let me just get my calculator out. $100,000, and this is the current Roar price. That's roughly 39. I mean, of course, there's slippage. We're not going to be able to get the whole 39, but we should be able to get about 30. And this is where the scary part happens. Look how much is in the pool, guys. Only 38 million, right? So if your dollar amount that you're putting into the liquidity, because this money is going straight into the liquidity pool, if $100,000 is going to get you more tokens than what is currently in the pool, it's going to cause a massive spike, a massive run up. Now, of course, you're going to have people taking profits here and there. And once they do, it is going to end up adding more tokens back into the liquidity pool. But even with that, if they do that, majority of the tokens that get put back could also get taken out again. So it's causing, pretty much making it very, very scarce. So the more scarce an asset is, with demand and also having a growing community. And this is one thing that I was telling people too when it comes to Shibarium. Like people are looking for Shibarium immediately for Roar as a volume boost. I was like, nah. Like before we even got on there, I'm like, don't look at Shibarium because some people were like, oh, there's not enough volume, this and that and the third. I'm like, don't look at it based upon volume. Look at it based upon members, holders. Because the more holders we get from Shibarium, more holders we get from the Sheep Army, the stronger our community get. And these are going to be extra raiders, shillers. Um, that's going to be a part of our growing ecosystem. But yeah, so even getting back to how to easily do this 10x, guys. Just in case if you guys just came in a little late. So, number one, first thing that you want to do is that you want to look at where is the all-time high of that token, whatever token that you're looking to get into. All-time high for Giga Chad, and I'm just using them as an example, is 91 919, let's say 920 million. It's currently at $185 million market cap. So this is roughly a 8x ish, a little bit over 8x. If you're cool of making an 8x, then you could play this token um, very, very strategically. You're, the second thing is to look where you're currently buying it at. Are you buying it near a support area? If the answer is yes, then by all means, you go ahead and get in. And with this, a 10x, $300, you're looking at 3,000. You want to go, a little bit higher, $1,000. To me, I wouldn't do 1,000, especially just at one spot. Like if I wanted to truly just say, hey, I'm gonna add 1,000 into it, then I'll just split up my order. But for this, I wouldn't do it. Because you have all these different support areas. Because again, this could continue to keep going bleeding. Just because you're buying at a support area don't mean there's not another support area that it could get to. Can't wait till we start hitting low supply of roar. 1,000%. Because the more and more, and also too, the benefit of the NFTs as well too, getting minted out is now it gives the community control. Because right now we have control over the token as collective, as a collective group, well individually. Like you own a bag, I own a bag, somebody else own a bag, and that equals collectively like a big bag. But if the NFT sell out, it's like now for a lot of the people who sold, a lot of people who got out, we're scooping up their portion of the token, and now if anybody really wants to get back into Roar, they're gonna have to pay a premium for it because the price went up. Oh, and one thing that you guys may notice on the X account, currently right now, I found out like you're not seeing posts or any of this. The main reason for that looks like someone reported our account, and that's the reason. So currently, right now, they're in the mix of trying to get this fixed for us. It's crazy, but like once the X account posts, you could see it pop up on the timeline, but not necessarily on um, if you click into it. But yeah, guys, I think I'm gonna call it here. Just wanted to at least get on the live with you guys. Um, been a minute since I did it. Felt like I had the energy for it, so now I'm starting to feel a little tired. I'm about to hit the sacks. But hopefully, you guys enjoy the rest of your day.